frankly, if she played Swamp King Dead right now, how does Jia win? She can't.
She can't.
If she just played Swamp King Dead right now, the game is over. Granted, she got a cube, which she chose over the Swamp King Dread, and it's not necessarily something she would was planning for. Is, oh, we're going to get to this stage of the game where she's literally no cards left and no removal left. But it will be the end coming for Lissa as Jia has all 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, and we see perhaps the saddest animation. This should be so much cooler looking, but it's cool for Jia anyway, as she takes game 1 with her OTK Paladin combo deck.
Not the flashiest of animations, but good enough in terms of its effectiveness. Jia's up 1-0 after OTK Paladin shuts down what many are calling to be the best class in the format with Hunter. So this is going to have to go back to the drawing board as Jia, HCT caster and now top 4 competitor in WSOE 2, is up 1-0. But we think that should close it out unless there's a way that we're not thinking about.
No, there's just the 11 damage on the board, the 3 damage from the hero power, and then Hellfire available. That's 14. 1 damage off lethal, but that is not going to do it.
1 damage off lethal. Remember, Kid, we were talking about Doomsayer on 2 versus the Vulgar Homunculus, and we're saying, what if that damage matters? And it did.
And we see here, it is just time once again for the Apocalypse. Here they come, all 4 Horsemen, and the dramatic animation coming down as Jia takes a 2-game lead over Slipper.
5 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, Kibler. With some extra flair in there. That's going to do it for game number 2. Lissa is down to her last deck. And it is, no, not with the Shadow Vision, the Shadow Madness.
With the Shadow Madness, though.
Shadow Madness as the one attack.
True, yeah, it's true.
If she spots it.
I think she may have had the time to put this one together now.
This is a second opportunity. I think she spots it now.
And there's the Shadow Madness. It took a little bit longer than she may have needed, but double Mind Blast finally does finish off the game. We see Lissa sort of putting her face in her hand. That's like the Captain Picard facepalm there, but she gets the job done and stays alive in this match against Jia.
Yeah, and she takes off her headset to immediately reset her brain. And, we've all been in that seat, but when you have tens of thousands of fans watching around the world, I can't imagine the mental pressure that's putting on her right now. And now I think Jia recognizes that if she gets another Vivid Nightmare, that's the only card she needs. Oh, she already has used a second one.
What?
So she needs a second Radiant Elemental now. What was she looking for?
I think she may have forgotten what was in her deck. I think she may have been looking for another Vivid Nightmare, but forgot she'd drawn both of them, perhaps, because... Oh, dear.
I think she was looking for the second Vivid Nightmare, realized that she used her second copy, and that is a disaster. She is dead.
Well, she is. Yeah, this is just the end here. She can Psychic Stream this away, but 4 Mind Blasts and that hero power is 22 damage. Lissa is going to end this game right now as Jia is going to be going to her final deck for this final game as it comes down to game number 5.
I think Gia's like surprised. Why are you starting off with Mind Blast? What's the hero power before it?
Oh dear, that's a lot of damage.
That's exact lethal, no overkill needed. Lissa's gonna tie this up. We're going to game number 5.
This is not something that we were really expecting, I think, going into that game. That was another situation where Lissa needed to fight an uphill battle, but she was able to do it.
Yes.
She is going to play Lich King, and there's no way for Lissa to stop it. If we can see Lich King into Doomsayer, so the Lich King itself dies, and then Jirax gets the final hit.
Yeah, but I'm not sure Lissa's going to wait it out. She knows that next turn, no matter what she does, is guaranteed lethal because of the fatigue.
And Lissa shoots herself.
She found lethal. Oh, okay, do it!
Jirax is lethal, do it. Yes!
In the end, she's a caster. She knows what's happening.
The style points and the real points going to Jia here as she finishes off Lissa in this game number 5 and advances to the finals in style.
That's right, and that is going to be our first finalist for the WSOE 2 Showdown. And it's not exactly the player that you may have first thought when you look at the player list, because you may know her to be a commentator, but Gia's got some serious skills. And now, finally, she has a reason to maybe convince some of the people who might be doubting that in chat, as many people do for the casters. In fact, I know some other casters that the chat likes to flame. It's TJ, Admirable, and Soleil.
much, Dan. What an insane game that was. It seemed like it was Jia all the way, but some crazy twists and turns.
This is not quite lethal, I think, but she can't connect with 12 right here, which does mean that Ultimate Infestation is just going to end up threatening lethal next turn.
Yeah, that's right, and there's nothing that Songbird can do about this, at least from what we see, so she needs some help off the top. I can't think of an individual card that can.
Yeah, Consecration can help clear things up with Avenging Wrath, but there's no way for her to survive that Ultimate Infestation.
Yeah, at this point, all feels kind of moot. A little bit of inefficiency with sequencing, but not going to be that big of a difference because Jia has the UI to stop this game right now and take the victory. And a pretty big one because I read the spreadsheet correctly this time. Spiteful Druid does struggle against Even Paladin. And now Even Paladin goes down for Cora. That's a big win for Jia.
Jia nearly at fatigue. 1 card left in her deck.
Pinch of death card.
7 cost 4/4. Your turn.
It's so good.
I mean, this is what Jia is left to work with. Her last card is Keleseth. The very last card in her deck is that Keleseth.
Now, Cora can not only clear the board, assuming that this hits, you know, a 4. Actually, she should be able to do it regardless. The lowest is 4.
Right. Then
she can play Doomsayer to set something up as a defensive measure. And it's exactly what you were talking about, Kilber, several turns ago. Playing for the fatigue.
Boom.
Sick.
Every minion in my deck gets +1/+1. Every single one of them. And Jia decides, I gotta throw that out there as my last card. As Cora does even up the series 1-1. Is there a world in which Cora has no more spells on her deck? Her Dragon's Fury can't clear.
She still has Meteor.
Yeah.
Like
no, she has 2 Meteors in her hand.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's like that alone should be enough too. And I mean, it's like you said, you can play a big spell, trade, and then just go Dragon Call Alana one more time and actually set up the follow-up lethal.
Oh, she's just clearing this off, yeah, with the flooped Alana. I don't think this flooped Alana was really necessary, but it is going to be a beautiful style win with the army of dragons for Cora here. As she takes a matchup that was expected to be very difficult, but you know, we said yes, the value of the legendaries from Tindagosa, you know, was very high, but I don't think they were necessary for her to win that game.
Regardless, Cora is 1 game away from immortality in the WSOE as she is up 2-1, and all that remains is Jia's Odd Rogue to pull her out of this deficit.
Jia's next push is crucial, but there's Jaina waiting.
Can you call it even a push? There's Fireflies and Direwolves.
Well, there is still a Henchclan Thug, and there are those 2 deadly poisons. And those deadly poisons, if Cora does not Gluttonous Ooze immediately, and if she Gluttonous Ooze, she can't Jaina. But Gluttonous Ooze, I think, may be the major swing here as 6 damage comes in, but 6 life will be gained from that Ooze, and there's the Voodoo Doll as well. Voodoo Doll ping Ooze, go all the way back up to 15, clear off that Henchclan Thug.
Oh man, I think 1 leeway would make the biggest difference here, but Jia does not have it. Celiax off the top!
Oh dear, that may just be the nail in the coffin. 15, 18, Taunt in the way, Divine Shield in the way.
Lock it up. Jia can't do anything substantial to push lethal this turn, and that gives finally Songbird the breathing room.
And the Vile Spine does come through, and there is still this Henchclan Thug. She is pushing 7, 8 damage. It's Cora down to 10.
It's really close.
Lich King. I mean, I wonder if the Ziliax... Hold on, I'm holding.
There's 15...
8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
She's at 15.
13. Well, there's 14, 15 from that SI
on the
agent.
board. Jia holding. She held the Flame Elemental just so she could get this combo damage.
And that is exact lethal the turn Cora plays the Jaina. We were saying we weren't sure she could get it done. but that is exactly enough to send this to a game 5. I do want to take a moment. The turn that Cora drew the Zilliax, she could have killed that Hench Clan Thug instead.
Yeah.
And still had Zilliax as a follow-up and not have taken the damage from the Hench Clan Thug. And I wonder if that may have changed the outcome of that game.
It did! And now with that Divine Shield minion having that 5 attack, so hard to remove, and it's only going to get worse!
Mushroom power.
Oh my gosh, it's turn 4!
Damage. Cora's at 6. That's Leroy Jenkins in the hand.
She's dead!
9-drop, 9-drop, 8-drop in Cora's hand. She was so close just moments ago, but now Jia is on the precipice of the championship.
It's been a wonderful 2 days of competition. We've had 16 of the Hearthstone best players in the world, and Jia is gonna land on top. Ladies and gentlemen, may we present to you the champion for the WSOE 2 Hearthstone Showdown. It is Jia from the Philippines.
She has been a caster among the top tournaments in the world, and now she's a champion among top players in the world.
$15,000 richer with a $1,000 guaranteed bounty. We'll count up the rest, but you can see the first immediate reaction is elation and respect, hugging Cora from across the stage. And what a way to wrap up the day and the weekend. I did not expect that series to go the way it did, Kibler.